Welcome, my fellow great beings. We have manipulated events and journeys beyond any standard mortals. We have created heroes, villains, saved and raised countless worlds through our actions. We travel to separate adventures, timelines, even dimensions, seeing countless deaths. We control the very time-space of these existences, restarting a journey's ending to simply see something new. But we never go further than necessary. We never see what these legends are written of after the stories end. I am a collector and creator of these stories. But much like the universe, the possibilities of these stories are near endless. Each is naught but a grain of sand to the vast possibilities. I simply grab a handful and read their stories. So, allow me to welcome you to the Legends Foretold.
During times of peace, shadows loomed only into the night. But in the fires of war, the ash shall block out the sun, leaving shadows to dance across the land vast as the darkness itself. It was during the Sengoku period that the greatest fires would birth the most monstrous shadows known as Shura. This Shura was not always the demon we know. The Shura used to be a young man, taken in and trained by a caregiver many referred to as the Owl. The Owl was a truly dishonored man. He would strike the back of his own lord if it would benefit him. He brought naught but trickery upon his name in battle. Legends tell the Owl found a child on the battlefield, adopting him as his own son and giving onto him the name Wolf. Wolf would serve under Lord Kuro, the divine heir. Lord Kuro was said to have magical powers that protected him from even death, a power which resided in his very blood. The wolf, in his trickery, devised a plan with the owl where they would burn Hirata to the ground, then stage an event where the wolf would sacrifice themselves in order to save Lord Kuro, who, out of gratitude, would share his blood. The scheme succeeded, and henceforth the wolf was given the terrifying power to resurrect from the dead. Lord Genichiro, uncle of Lord Kuro, was not so easily tricked. He rescued the unaware divine heir from the wolf and pleaded with Lord Kuro to become an immortal as well, hoping that it would allow our lord to meet the wolf on even footing. Kuro, however, blinded by the wolf's trickery, refused Genichiro's requests. Wolf, as a shinobi, was a devious and cruel person, killing hundreds of men in search of Lord Kuro, assassinating even General Gyobu Masataki Oniwa, eventually coming before Lord Genichiro himself. Despite not possessing the powers of resurrection, Lord Genichiro stood between the wolf and their prey. Our lord fought well, but the wolf used shinobi arts, a combat style based on deception, traps, and cheats, much like his father. The wolf managed to defeat Lord Genichiro, who barely escaped away to search for the mortal blade, a weapon which could injure even the divine. The wolf continued their crusade of blood to find the weapon first, eventually traveling to the Holy Senpu Temple, assassinating the monks who lived there, and tricking our divine child of rejuvenation into giving him the red mortal blade. Now believing that his victory was complete, Wolf and Owl would attack the land of Ashina with their armies, leaving the nation in a state of disarray and allowing them to approach Lord Kuro once more. Eventually, the two would meet atop Lord Ishin's palace. Ishin, who was possibly the greatest warlord, had grown older, and even he had fallen to the wolf's charms. Upon their meeting, the wolf and the owl chose this moment to make their final attack upon the land of Ashina. Wolf would brutally kill the finest and most generous medicine maker in the land, known as Emma. Emma had mused that the wolf would steal the life force of others in order to fuel their power of resurrection, causing an affliction known as dragon rot to ravage the land. To silence her, the wolf would brutally skewer her through the neck. This showed Lord Ishin the lies before him, and he swept forward in an attempt to stop the wolf once and for all. Lord Ishin was powerful, but the shinobi chose to avoid an honorable duel, instead using explosives, poison, shuriken, and many unknown techniques to slowly kill our aging lord. Meanwhile, the owl would sever the land's last hope, cutting the throat of Genichiro from the treetops, fully severing his head and stealing the black mortal blade just as Genichiro had received it. The owl was foolish, however. In his lust for power, he did not see the flames of Shura being stoked within the wolf. Upon declaring his victory, Owl would be stabbed through the back, leading to a truly ironic and foolish death. And thus the owl, and so too the very land of Ashina, fell to Shura. The Shura was a path of carnage and destruction that awaits those who forsake their humanity in pursuit of power, immortality, or glory. Shura cared not for politics, cared not for love, cared not for gold or even the gods. Shura only cared about wrath, deception, and violence. That is why even today, we practice and master discipline, never allowing ourselves to fall to Shura. A clear mind allows us to be superior and honorable warriors even on the field of battle. As a samurai, when you pledge yourself to your lord, you are pledging your very body and soul to them and their safety, and upholding that vow with the Bushido Code. Never forget that.
A fascinating end for this tale, though not entirely with truth. History cared not for the intentions of the moment, but used the story's outcome to teach a lesson. Fascinating indeed. But this adventure surely had different branches to see. Perhaps if the wolf had chosen his lord over his father, things could have ended differently. But in the end, it hardly matters. If you ever care to browse my selection of sands again, you are always invited, for that is my job, to give you the legends foretold.